Hey guys, I'm a patient gamer. I want to start this off with that because I think it is relevant. My first encounter with pay-to-win mechanics was actually in 2020, give or take a little. It's the end of 2020 actually, so almost 2021. And that was with Fallout Shelter. I played Fallout Shelter for about 2 years, had lots of fun with Fallout Shelter, and I want to emphasize this because I 100%ed the game before I paid a single penny into the game. So I had completed all 35 achievements on Steam. And then I went ahead and was like, hey, you know what? I want to give them some money. And more specifically, I had, 150 people. I had everyone with max special stats and probably, relatively speaking, max endurance. Unless you want to go for 19 endurance for your starting stat. All of my pawns had 16 endurance before I started maxing it. Not quite perfect, but I mean, the difference between 16 endurance and 19 endurance, while significant, isn't really relevant to making the game any easier or harder. Your characters are just so ridiculously tough at that point. The game is comically easy. And then I was like, I should pay some money for this because it was a good game, and I don't mind supporting good games. So I bought something from the Steam store, or from the game store. I don't remember which. I spent like $3-4. So my guess is it's like based on what I can see on the thing, right? And if you look at what it says on the page that sells this, it says, jumpstart your vault with everything needed to get your underground life started quickly. Includes a legendary dweller, 2 rare dwellers, a legendary pet, a Mr. Handy, plus Nuka-Cola Quantum, and lots of vault resources, i.e. water, energy, and food. Limit of 1 per box. This item is considered an in-game item from the purpose of Steam refunds. Now, that's fine. Like, nothing there's like, oh my goodness. Like, it literally jumpstarts your vault. From like a hardcore, like, serious player perspective, whatever. Like, it just speeds up your start. If that's what you want, go ahead and do it. If you don't. It honestly doesn't make that big of a difference. Even now, man, the thought of starting hardcore Fallout Shelter run again is just really fun to me. But it's broken. And you might be like, wait, what do you mean it's broken? And this is actually why I'm angry about this game in specific. Because when I say I have farmed endgame gear and all of that stuff before I ever put a penny into this game, I am serious. I know there was an item, I don't remember what item, but it had about a 1 in 100 drop rate. Okay, I remember specifically. Trust me, when you have an item with a 1 in 100 drop rate, and you have gotten about 6 of those items, if the drop rate changes, you notice. If the drop rate changes from 1 in 100 to 1 in 10, you don't just go, huh? You go, whoa, what just happened? Which is what I did. Because I bought something, I think it was the Vault-Tec starter pack. I had no interest in actually using it, by the way. I just wanted to pay money to the developer because at that time I believed you should pay money to the developer. I felt like that's a fair thing to do. Man, I got 250 hours of actual gameplay out of the game. That doesn't even include like the time where I'm still doing stuff, but the game is turned off. But it changes the loot tables. And they don't tell you this. This is the issue. They don't say this. If they told you, hey, purchasing this item changes your loot tables, I'd be like, oh, okay. And if they gave me an option in-game to say, like, Patron mode or some garbage, man, this makes me want to swear. It makes me so angry. I'd be like, oh, okay. But no, they don't tell you. They just do it. It literally ruined the game for me. I remember I went from... Because I was farming at the time. You know what I think it was? I think I was farming legendary dwellers in my main vault. And I didn't use the purchase in my main vault. And it wasn't the vault starter pack because apparently this is a renewable item. So it wasn't that one. So it must have been just like a stack of lunch boxes, like 5 lunch boxes. It doesn't matter which one it is that they purchase, because they don't need to tell me this. And again, I don't have a source. My source is the hundreds of hours I poured into this game before spending $1 and then finding out, oh, holy crap, now that I spent money on this game, things are just popping up all over the place. Like items that I had been spending hours to get were just like... And I remember being like, whoa, the drop rate is bonkers. What's going on? And like I've been showing War Thunder footage for this video so far because I was thinking about War Thunder while I was playing War Thunder this morning. I like to farm and grind War Thunder a little because I like to get the camouflage, the plane outfits to upgrade the planes, make the planes look cool. War Thunder's a fun game and all that. But oh my goodness, I am so sick of one of their features in War Thunder. It is just making me so fed up. And that is premium players get to choose what maps they play or don't play. And again, War Thunder doesn't really advertise this as a feature. It's just a little bonus thing. It's not a big deal. It's just a little thing, you know? Like, what's the big deal? But it's the single most game-breaking thing I have ever seen. Why? Because this morning I got on, and if you look at the footage, some of these matches, I was waiting 2-3 minutes because, and this is the important part, there were about 10 people on this morning. One of whom was a premium player. Clearly a premium player. You want to know why I know this? Because we kept playing the same match over and over and over. And I hate that match. And it drives me crazy. But that's not the issue even. See, the issue is this. The people will be like, well, yeah, but it doesn't force you to play one match. It just changes it so that they don't have to play matches they don't like. Yeah, well, what happens when you have 2 premium players and both of them have selected matches as they don't like it in the list? What happens then? And then what happens when you have 3 premium players and 4 premium players? I don't know if other people have noticed this, but man, for a game that supposedly... How many players does it have as I'm recording? At the time of me talking, War Thunder has 20,000 players supposedly playing it in Steam right now. And yet... Oh, look at those downs. Ooh, man, their player base is just shrinking. It's so sad. But deserved. And this is actually the important part. Gaijin, you suck. And your stupid, greedy, pathetic little crap is exactly why this game is going down, just like all the other games are going down. And they're going to be like, oh, our numbers are better than ever. Yeah, well, why did I spend 3-4 minutes waiting for an Air Arcade map? Why? Why is it if you go back over all of time... Yes, let's see. War Thunder was peaking at what looks like to be 120,000 players. 120,000 players. And now it is struggling to reach 20. See, that says 94 right there. But I was just looking at it. That says 94. Now, where did I see the 20,000? Is I zoomed in or something? Yeah, I don't know how this thing works. It doesn't matter. Because there's 20,000, 90,000 isn't the issue. The issue is there's plenty of players theoretically playing. Why am I getting stuck in these stupid queues? And the answer is, well, if you have one premium player who refuses to play this match and another premium player who only wants to play that match, they both can't play in the same match. So now this stupid game is having to basically create 2 matches, even though there's only enough players for one match, because both those players don't want to play in the same match. One likes that match and one hates that match. And so now War Thunder's like, oh, I don't know what to do. And this is what I'm talking about. See, yeah, sure, even if it only creates a weighted difference, if you have a weighted difference that boosts it on one and a weighted difference that decreases it on another, War Thunder is basically going to have to pull all those options out. And this is why you get stuck on the same map over and over again. Because it's basically the only map. Neither of those players have upvoted or downvoted on. Okay, let that sink in, right? It's basically the one map everyone can agree on. And the issue is basically War Thunder is sitting there going, which map can these guys play? I'm allowed to pick this map, and nope, that player doesn't like that map. I'm allowed to pick this map, and nope, that player doesn't like this map. Okay? It's the stupidest feature I've ever seen. Flat out, across the board. It makes the crap that Fallout Shelter did look like garbage. And man, I'm sorry, man. War Thunder's player base has gone down, and I'm looking at the numbers and I'm like, man, I'm done to see. You literally just have to look at the 1-year chart or the all-time. Yes, it peaked and it did really well in 2024. 2025. It's an okay year. It's not great. It's not bad, but I mean, it's clearly gone down. Like, I mean, it hit 70,000 in the summer. And it's deserved, to be honest. Like, it's totally deserved. These mechanics are just driving me personally crazy. Like, they don't advertise it. And this is the problem, right? It's like Star Citizen. I was listening to people talking about Star Citizen. And it's like, man, one player likes how Star Citizen resets the servers because all they want to do is they want to start at the basic level and they want to grind their way up to the really high quality content. They enjoy that process. Good for you. Enjoy it. Have fun. Right? But other players are just buying their way to that. And all these paid-to-win transactions, the more they try to cram them in, and War Thunder isn't the worst offender at this, by far, but they are definitely not a mild offender. They push it as far as they can with the player base, and I have not spent a penny on it. I have not spent a penny on any free-to-play game, quote, end quote, that has a way you can buy, like, little microtransaction bullshit. And you want to know why? Because Fallout Shelter ruined it for me. I like a challenge. I play almost every game on the hardest difficulty. Almost every game. There are exceptions to that rule. There are games that are just so poorly developed and designed. See, I'm looking at you, Red Alert 3. Man, oh my goodness, playing the Japanese campaign is just so miserable in that game. When you can play as the Allies and basically spam peacemakers and win. Yeah, that's a whole different subject. My issue is they don't even treat this as like a pay-to-win thing, because it's not a pay-to-win thing. So they don't advertise it as the selling point to this game. But the reality is, these game stores don't have some preset list of what they have to tell you about the thing you're buying. In other words, they can sell you something that changes the entire way the game makes it function. Yes, they can sell you a difficulty and not even tell you it's a difficulty because the game developers just don't see it as important enough to let you know. Or they can sell you a feature that alters how you and other players will experience this game. And they just don't even think of it as important. Because, it's just a little thing we added on to make it, just a little bit better, This is pissing me off, though. It's like, man, guys, please understand that package description I started with. That's what they're using to sell it. That's an advertising. Promotional. Yes, it's not a literal one-to-one description of what you're paying for. It is what they want you to hear to buying this package. Now, their motivation is to sell more, make more money. And that's fine. I get that with a lot of companies. I really do. But I am beyond pissed with features that break games. They break the game. And they don't even tell you that it's hidden behind a paywall, or it may be behind a paywall, or it's part of a mechanic behind a paywall. It's like War Thunder. I'm breaking War Thunder because of... My War Thunder is broken because of other people purchasing a mechanic and then using it to help themselves have a better, and I see I even do air quotes there, mechanic experience. But it's not a better experience. It's a watered down experience. And because they're watering down their experience, and it's a multiplayer game, it is affecting my gameplay. And that pisses me off. You can't not do it. This is the reason I will never buy them. I almost bought stuff from War Thunder. I almost did. Because I have sunk almost 800 hours into this game at this point. I like War Thunder. It's a fun game. But I am so sick of these people hiding hidden features into the packages they are selling and then not telling anyone. Game-breaking things that are being included and just trashing the game. I want transparency. Boosh alike, if you want transparency, or just leave a comment or make your own video. I don't care what you do, but I'm just livid.